A lot of people do these things on video where they snap their fingers and it's like a before and after. So you ready for your warehouse?
Not here yet.
Dang. I'm not used to having traffic noise. Well, what's up, guys? It's Daniel and DJ from Arms Family Homestead, and we did it. We bought an abandoned homestead.
We did.
But not for that. We didn't buy an old farm to farm. There's a lot of history, a lot of family history in this place. We're only a couple miles from our house, but we're going to show you around. It's a 3-acre property and is right on the highway. New guy's being creepy back here, but you can see the driveway is right on the highway. And what you can't see right now, on the other side of the highway is where my brother's house is, my grandpa's old house. But this is all an area that was old family land. My uncle lives in that house right there. He owns a couple 100 acres. His last name's Bendrum, and this was owned by Bendrums. His property was owned by his dad and several places. When we were talking to the lady that actually owns it, or well, owned it when we signed yesterday, she grew up with Bendrum. She's got a married name now, different, but her dad lived here for I don't know how many years. He lived on this place forever and basically had a homestead. There was a garden here. There's some fruit trees. So we're not buying this for a farm. We bought it for
merch.
A new warehouse.
Yes.
We have no idea where we're going to put the building yet. The first thing we've got to do, well, first thing is we're going to walk around and show you guys. We're going to look at everything. We actually don't have keys to the house yet because the previous owner still has some stuff in there. We're going to give her some time to get it cleaned out. But the house isn't livable.
No.
It's in horrible shape, like about to fall down. Probably built in the early 1900s. She said it's got terrible mold problems. You can even see where the walls are starting to buckle and cave in and things. So nobody's lived in it in quite a while, but there's some old history here. So let's go check it out. So it's highway frontage, 3 miles from the lake and about 3 miles north of our house and 5 miles south of town, something like that. This was actually, I said my grandpa's house. My great-grandpa built that house. That's where my brother lives now. And then my uncle's house is next door. And then he grew up just around the corner from there. So pretty cool to be able to keep a piece of property. It may have been distant relatives, but was family at one time. So as you come into the property, the driveway, basically it's 3 acres, so it's only about 75 yards deep. We don't own those big barns back there. The property line's about 10 yards behind that garage. So it's not real deep, but it's long. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's wide, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
It's about 150 yards wide.
Football field.
Yeah.
It's bigger.
Well, bigger than a football field, but shaped like an oversized football field along the highway. So I don't really have a lot of the history on the house, but like I said, it's not in good shape. We're not going to be going in the house today, but you can see, look at this wall. You can see how it's bowed out, and she said there's a horrible foundation problem. I've been told there's an old cellar underneath the house on the original home site that you can't get to until you tear the house down.
Oh.
That's probably what's causing mold problems, if there's water in that old cellar.
Yeah.
So we'll see. They left us a lot of treasures. So the new guy's
going to come in handy.
Probably going to be hauling a lot of scrap metal out of here, cleaning up. We're going to hire my cousin with the dozer to come in and dozer and an excavator to tear the house down, tear the garage down. There's a lot of treasures before we start tearing it down. Yeah, let's open the garage and see what's in there. Wish me luck.
Oh, Lord. Well.
Ta-da!
Oh.
Got a lawnmower.
Yeah.
A Cub Cadet lawnmower.
Oh, this makes me nauseous.
This is exactly what you would expect from that World War II survivor generation.
I agree.
They didn't throw anything away.
No.
Every nail, every screw, every knife. was kept. They didn't
Yeah.
throw things away. So.
My grandpa's look just like this, and the smell is actually exactly the same.
Smells good.
And I haven't
Here.
been to their. I mean, they sold it when Nanny moved up here. What, 10 years ago?
Yeah. At least.
Yeah.
How about a crossbow?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's just, I mean, those older guys didn't throw anything away. There will be just can after can and box after box of old screws and nails, and there may be some good stuff.
Maybe.
So, this thing, Sheila was telling us about it. It's called a shopsmith. So it looks like a table saw and a bandsaw and everything. She's going to see if her son wants it. Probably not. I have no idea what kind of shape. I don't even know what it is, but she said it was very expensive when they bought it. Like, I don't know if it's worth anything now, but she said that it may have some value, so it's worth looking into. Look at this. The original box for
Oh my gosh.
a Coleman lantern.
Wow.
Still, I mean, it's still in great shape, but he kept the box. There's no telling how old the box is.
Well, there's not much left of it.
No, but the lantern's still in good shape.
Yeah.
So we'll go through the barns and the house and the shed and everything as best we can and salvage anything of value. DJ's mom's a junk collector?
Inventory collector?
Inventory collector. She likes to take old things and make them pretty.
Yes.
So we'll let her come over and go through everything too.
Oh, sunglasses. There's some by your feet too. Oh, you got the Maverick look going.
Just need a pen. Oh, there. Matter of fact, here's a pen. Now we can take notes of any of the good stuff we find.
Oh my gosh.
Pen don't work.
Yeah, he's just got a whole bunch of empty bullets.
Look at this. Look at this. I've never seen anything like this, but it looks like a fillet knife, except it's a fishing pole. It's called the Pocket Fisherman Spin Casting. I see a fishing challenge right there. Who can catch the biggest fish in the creek?
You would.
On the pocket caster.
Wes?
Wes don't like to fish.
Yeah, he does. Only when he catches things.
Oh, there's.
Oh, Wes likes catching, not fishing. Yeah, better put this in a safe place so we don't lose it. Let's put it right there on the shelf.
Hey, Mom.
It's kind of sketchy. Porch is not in great shape, but just to kind of give you an idea, I'm not going to go in, but even the back porch, look at those overalls, coveralls. Those are classic. Just what you would expect to find in a old home. Huh?
It's shot.
What'd you shoot?
Some piece of metal rod.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, cover your eyes.
Yeah, no kidding.
I was like, this. It went over the fence.
So that when I was a kid, that was the original. His name was Short Bendrum. That was Short's garden area, and there were some fruit trees and a few things. There's a ton. Jason from Cog Hill Farm would be ecstatic. I watched them go dig up thousands of daffodils the other day. Daffodils. There's no D on it, but there's daffodils up there. I think these are maybe daylilies. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this fence that goes the length of the garden, there are thousands of them all the way down this fence. There's going to be a lot of cleanup here, though.
It's a little overwhelming right now.
A little overwhelming. Yep. I mean, everything that's here is ours except for what's in the house. So, oh my goodness, there's a huge propane tank. That'll save on an expense when we build a building. We'll have a propane tank already here. The propane company can come out and recertify all the valves and fittings and stuff. There's a bathtub. So there's not this fence, but that fence is the back property line. So the property owners on the back side of this actually back up to our home property. Technically, we could go across the pasture and get here. We probably won't ever do that, but you could.
Yeah.
So we have the same neighbor twice on 2 different properties. This used to be a chicken house. There's nothing left of it, obviously, but you can see the board he had made to where his chickens could climb up to get on their roost poles at night. Why don't you hop on that bicycle and go for a ride, Deej?
How about no? No. I don't think I will.
Ride it till the wheels fall off. It might be like 2 feet.
Yeah.
There's 2 wells. The house is on rural water, like city water. It's from our local rural water service. But there are 2 well houses. So there's one here and one on the far end of the property. Now, Sheila told me that her dad used to water the garden with this well, but it probably hasn't been in service in 20 plus years. So I have no idea what kind of condition the actual well and the pump and everything are in. There's not much left, but there is a hole in the ground for a well, should you need well water.
Okay.
Look at this. This old barn is cool. Obviously, it's far too gone to really be used for much. It's mostly rotted out, but I would love to know how old that is. What do you think?
Oh, Lord, I don't even know.
Old.
Old, very old.
Probably 70, 80 years old.
Yeah.
At least. So at one time it was used for livestock. Probably has been, decades. There's some old wagon wheel rings here. You can see what's left of them. If we go inside, you can see this was set up. Here's a stanchion site where a cow would come in, or it's wired. It won't close right now. It's been too many years, but you can see where that closed down, and the cow come in to eat, and they probably milked cows in here or something. Really don't know what's on the other side of there. I haven't gone in that side of the barn. Just a lot of junk. Nothing that's probably got much value. Well, you don't know if you don't explore, right? I'm hoping the floor doesn't fall through. This side of the barn, opposite of where the feed stanchions is elevated. I'm sure the floor is in great shape. There's an old bandsaw, or some type of bandsaw. I'm not an old tool guy, but you just never know what you might find in one of these old barns. Lots of goodies, huh, DJ?
Oh, yeah.
Lots of goodies. Hey, whether you find anything of value in here or not is one thing. A lot of this wood looks like it's in good enough shape it could be reclaimed. You take especially this interior wood and pressure wash it and seal it, it would be really cool as like an accent wall in a building or something. Yeah, interior decorations.
Yes.
Hey, this is so cool. So you think about it, I'm on the high side of this barn, so whoever built this, whoever worked out of this decades ago, put a door in. This is an elevated platform side. This floor is elevated. There's a ladder that goes up to hay storage. There's obviously not any hay in here now, but then they were able to feed from an elevated platform. So there was no reason to even go in there with the livestock, whether it's cows or goats or pigs or whatever. You could feed from this elevated area and not have to walk through the mud. Man, those old guys were so smart.
They were. It's genius.
Yeah. There's an old livestock lean-to over here. It's obviously seen better days. It's kind of leaning, but there are flowers planted all over the place. Here's some daffodils like we were talking about, starting to bloom. That means spring's almost here. Yay. So looking back towards the house, there's the garden area. I'll show you. I'm sure there'll be somebody interested in digging up some flowers, some friends and family of ours, but look at this. They're everywhere. All of this, all the way down that fence, are these. I'm not sure what they are. Man, I am so not used to that highway noise.
I know.
We are right on the highway here. Perfect spot for a business, though. All right, so moving past the livestock shelters and the little barn, there used to be a pond back here. It's really not much now. There's a lot of trash in it, but that's the corner of the property right there. So this is looking to the north. So basically it's a 3-acre rectangle cut out into that property owner back there. So the other well house is right up here in the corner of the property. And I have zero information on this one. I even went to, there's a website, the Oklahoma Water Resource Board, something, I'm not sure. But most of the wells have to be, well, nowadays they have to be logged. And you can look up on a map and find information on some of those old wells, but neither one of these are on there because, you know, they may be 100 years old. Interesting stuff. If old stuff's what you're interested in, I guess. So if you can't tell, I am very excited about this. DJ's very excited about this. Her and Weston wandered off somewhere. It's going to be a lot of work. It's a big project. There's a ton of just cleanup that has to be done before we can ever start. But the property is more than big enough for what we want to build. It already has electricity, rural water, and two wells. We just got to get started on the cleanup, and you can bet Weston's probably going to be spending a lot of time over here for the next month or two cleaning up, and then eventually we'll tear the house down, tear the old barns down. The fences, gosh, the fences are so grown up in trees and things. It's going to be, the only thing I know to do is cut the tops off the trees and pile all that and burn it, and then bring the skid steer in here with a grapple and start plucking fences out because they're not in good shape, and there's a lot of scrap and a lot of trash. It's going to be a big project. Well, babe.
Yep.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the location?
Oh, the location. I love the location because it's close to us.
It's like perfect spot, close to home, right on the highway on the way to town. A lot of people said, why don't you build your warehouse on the Mill Creek property? And it's because it's 15 miles out of the way.
Yeah.
This is on the way to town. Prime location, like 3 miles from the lake. If we ever decide to sell it, it'll be worth, it'll only go up in value.
Yeah.
After all the work we do and build something on it. It's basically family history.
Yes.
I couldn't ask for a better location with family history, proximity to town.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Me too. Very excited.
So a lot of people do these things on video where they snap their fingers and it's like a before and after. So you ready for your warehouse?
Not here yet.
Dang. Matt does it from Demo Ranch all the time. He just like snaps his fingers and things are done.
Yeah.
He's got a little bigger channel.
Yeah.
Well, I can see it. The future home of Do Your Best in AFH Merchandise Warehouse. What do you call it?
I know. I've been thinking about a name for the building. I don't know.
Speaking of names, some people, we asked for recommendations on the new guy in my work crew's name, me and Weston. Someone said, call it West Dan.
West Dan or the A-Team.
The A-Team for the Arms family. Yep.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, we'll have to come up with a cool name for your
When
warehouse.
I was researching, I found one, and it said the A warehouse. Or a warehouse.
A warehouse.
Not the. It said A, the letter A warehouse.
Yep. Yep.
Pretty clever.
This is it's a very unique little property. It's not huge. We weren't looking for a big property.
No.
It's right on the highway. Everything we wanted, and it literally is an old, abandoned homestead. There was probably no telling how many kids and grandkids and nieces and nephews were fed. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell this story real quick. So when we closed yesterday, we were talking to Sheila. Her dad was Short Bendrum, and all I ever knew was Short Bendrum. He's been gone for several years, but that's the only name I ever knew. I assumed it was a nickname, but I never knew the history. But she said when he was a little bitty boy, and I'm going to say Short, if he was still alive today, would be close to 100, if not over 100, because he's been gone for quite a while. But when he was a little bitty kid, she said he was one of 4 brothers. Is that right? 3 or 4 brothers, and their family were truck farmers for vegetables. So there's a huge field just half a mile north of here that's 15-20 acres. I don't know how much they farmed in vegetables, but she said they had huge vegetable fields, and they would pick all the produce in wagons, and they had one truck that they could take it to town in, and they would literally drive around town, the town where we live, and sell produce door to door. So it was a CSA vegetable farm before that was the cool hip thing to do. Like, they were literally growing food and selling it. But the reason he was called Short was because all the brothers gave him a hard time because he wasn't tall enough to throw all the produce bushels up into the wagons. He was a little short guy because he was the youngest, I guess. So they called him Short Boy or Short Guy, and they just nicknamed him Short. And that's literally the only name I ever heard. So I don't know, maybe we could tie something in. I don't know, we got to find a way to tie the family names, maybe some of the nicknames, something into this property to call it something cool, and maybe preserve a little bit of history.
Yeah.
And hopefully Weston doesn't hurt himself in the process. He's looking for ammo for a pistol crossbow. So, anything else you want to add?
No, I'm super excited. I was a lot more excited yesterday when we closed, and then we come here and it's like a little overwhelming.
It's a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little overwhelming because it's a 100-year-old farm that's been neglected and ignored for the most part for a long time, and that's just, the cleanup is going to be a big step for sure.
Yeah,
that's why we have equipment.
Yeah, it's just the nature of the beast.
It is.
But no, I'm so excited, and it's going to be a lot of content about it.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. It'll be awesome.
A long process, but.
And we're not planning on putting in a public storefront.
No.
I don't want to confuse anybody. Yeah, we are close to the highway, but we're not looking for a public storefront, but basically somewhere that we can have deliveries and pickups and stuff come in and out of, because right now, when we have, like today, there's supposed to be like 16 cases of t-shirts show up at our house, and they'll be dumped in front of our gate by our mailbox.
Yeah.
Not a good place.
And it just poured down, like all night.
We did probably got 1.5 inches, 2 inches of rain, so.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. You guys have a great day. And as always, we'll see you on the next video.